Hello YouTube, it is October 11, 2019 as you can see on my screen, and we're here to talk about some rather serious subjects regarding the LGBTQ community and why the fight is still on worldwide just for people to live their lives. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is not a clickbait, this is not stretching the truth, this is not, oh well, no. You see the title as is. Uganda announces killed gays bill that will bring in the death penalty for homosexuals. Now, for y'all few that were made primitive to my earlier videos, why is this thing down here wanting to see? I can't stand these sites where random stuff pop up on the bottom and you can't get rid of it. So we just gonna know all these ads on the sides, honey. But needless to say, um, if y'all did not see my series about all the countries or whatever that were passing laws to actually progress from this foolishness, here you got Uganda going literally backwards. This is literally going to get on my nerves, y'all. Let me see if I can exit this out. Okay, thank goodness. Like I said, we end up doing not one, not two, but 3 videos on my YouTube channel about how worldwide in 2019 we finally had countries from in China. I think it was Button, which was the name of that country. You had Brazil. You had a couple countries in Africa, and I really had to get up on the motherland about being delayed. But now we got Uganda actually wanting to not only double down on it, but actually want to bring back killing. So not no longer, throwing people in jail just for being who they are. Not, giving them a fine, not barring them from the country, but going as far as the death penalty. So let's get into this hypocrisy. We're going to read the article and I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary on this. As y'all can tell, I've already got my other slides up because we about to darn gonna do some comparisons, honey. So let's go ahead and get started with this article. Uganda has announced plans to reintroduce a bill which would bring in the death penalty for homosexuals in the East African nation. The legislation known as the Kill the Gays bill, so they just being right out with it. It ain't no secret name for it or anything. It's just telling you straight up, kill the gays. Was nullified 5 years ago on a technicality. So it was only darn gonna put the rest on a technicality. Not that the people came to their common senses and say, well, we shouldn't be killing people just because of who they are. But look, I digress. But the government now has plans to resurrect it within a few weeks. Homosexuality is not natural to the Ugandans, but there has been a massive recruitment by gay people in schools and especially among the youth, where they are promoting the falsehood that people are born like that, Ethnics and Integrity Minister Simon Lokodo says. Once again, there we go with that unnaturalness again. I see I'm going to have to finally do the video debunking these motherfuckers, but let's continue on. Our current penal law is limited. It only criminalizes the act. So you're actually disappointed that it only criminalizes the act. You want to go as far as the extend it to murder. Okay. We want it made clear that anyone who's even involved in promotion and recruitment has to be criminalized. So you can be straight and just be a non-racist, a non-homophobic, transphobic bigot. And the reason why I slipped up and said racist is because they got some racism slipped up in here as well. We're going to get into that, with the colonization in a moment. But even if you're straight and you're not getting along with this darn on bigotry, you can be penalized with this too. Those that do grave acts will be given the death sentence. African countries like Uganda have some of the world's most prohibitive laws governing homosexuality. Same-sex relations are considered taboo, and gay sex is a crime across most of the continent, the punishment ranging from imprisonment to death. Moving on even more. Uganda's constitutional court overturned the law formerly known as the Kill the Gays bill because it included the death penalty on a technicality in 2014. Even without it under British colonial law, gay sex is punishable with up to life imprisonment and activists said the new bill risks unleashing attacks. You think? Bringing back anti-gay legislation would inevitably lead to a spike in discrimination and atrocities, and Zara Muhammad of the Toronto-based charity Stephen Lewis Foundations moves to restrict LGBT rights and criminalize gay sex in other countries have sparked protests and sanctions, rightfully so. In May, Brunei was forced to extend a memorandum on the death penalty for gay sex after celebrities such as George Clooney condemned a law allowing whipping and stoning to death. Last November, anti-gay remarks by a senior official in Tanzania led to the East African nation's second biggest donor, Denmark, withholding $10 million in aid. Once again, I don't and I give much respects to Denmark, but I've always mentioned, like, why does Africa even need aid in the first place? They could technically become self-sufficient if they were smart enough not to be colonized. However, needless here nor there, even if you were capable of getting your ass out of the darn white man's ass and darn going do for your own countries as a collective of Africans, this is still wrong, regardless of whether you was only hesitant because of aid or not. But it goes on to say Uganda faced widespread international condemnation when the previous bill was signed off by Museveni in 2014. The United States reduced aid, imposed visa restrictions, and canceled military exercises. Now that's the one that we're really getting them right there. Is that military over there that we protect them from certain other countries. The World Bank, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and the Netherlands also suspended or redirected aid. Lokodo said Uganda were prepared for any negative response. It is a concern, he said, but we are ready. We don't like blackmailing, much as we know that it is going to irritate our supporters in budget and governance. We can't just bend our heads and bow before people who want to oppose a culture which is foreign to us. Let's continue on. I'm going to save my stuff until the end, y'all. Pepe Julian Osizima from the Sexual Minorities Uganda, an alliance of LGBT plus organizations, said its members were fearful of the bill. When the law was introduced last time, it whipped up homophobic sentiment and hate crimes, said Azanama. So they were honestly confused how this would not trigger such a response towards LGBTs of their own community. You're saying if they're caught so much as walking down the street holding hands or anything that gives a sitting of them being gay, they could be tossed in jail. If you catch them in a hotel, they're subject to be stoned to death or whatever modality that y'all use over there to kill people. If somebody is accepting of their lifestyle, even if they do not agree with it, like you just agree to disagree, but you promote for them to do whatever they want, you can also be punished too. And you think this wouldn't cause no backlash, but once again, let's move on. When the law was introduced last time, like I said, it whipped up homophobic sentiment and hate crimes. Then it goes on to say hundreds of LGBT people have been forced to leave the country as refugees, and more will follow if the law is enacted. It will criminalize us from even advocating for LGBT rights, let alone supporting and protecting sexual minorities. Azama said 3 gay men and 1 transgender woman has been killed in homophobic attacks and transphobic attacks in Uganda this year. The latest last week when a gay man was bludgeoned to death. But hear certain folks talk about it over here, LGBTs are just living their best life like it's golden, honey. So now let's get on into this bullshit. So once again, over in the States, we literally are going before the Supreme Court just for LGBT citizens to have the right nationwide not to be in fear of being fired just simply because of sexual orientation. Now, for people who keep saying LGBT is pushing an agenda, this, that, and the third on you, I'm trying to figure out how in the hell is somebody pushing an agenda on you by going to work and having a picture of what their spouse on the table who happens to be of the same sex. Because I'm trying to figure out where is this darn pushing the agenda on you. Is they trying to darn recruit you in the bedroom? Because once again, sexual harassment is regardless of the sexual orientation. But then again, you see how Fox always make excuses over when it comes to straight darn criminality when it comes to sexual harassment. Because I just seen an article earlier this morning talking about another scandal. And Democrats ain't exempt either, because I've been hearing about Bill Maher. His name is being coming up. So harassment is harassment regardless of the sexuality or the gender orientation. So if you was worried about somebody pushing up on you sexually, if it was a man pushing up on you as another man, or a woman pushing up on a woman, sexual harassment laws work no matter what the sexual orientation is. So I'm trying to figure out, why do you need to go as far in the United States as to ban people from working because you have a difference of sexuality? Once again, citing religious doggone stuff under the Bible, but want to just annoy the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, which says, but then again, certain states are able to get around that as well, which I'm still, don't understand. So we're dealing with that bullshit right here in the United States, that people have to worry about getting kicked out of their 9-to-5 job simply because of who they are. Any inclination that gives off that there might be of the same sex, like if you have a picture of your spouse on the table, if you are, just clearly clockable. We all know the flamboyant queen that's clockable. We all know that, the little Ma's of the world. Is that the, oh Lord, not Little Ma, but Young Ma, the lesbian rapper? We all know the clockable lesbians, honey. If you so much clockable, you have to be in fear of darn being fired from your job. If it's even hinted, they will darn ask you if for transgender women about you, because now it's gotten to the point where they don't even care about post-op transgender women. So first it was this about the bathroom law, about pre-op transgender women. Then they going as far as to say post-op transgender women who have the vagina and everything are still subject to be in the male bathroom. So that's not going to be confusing. A post-op transgender woman with a vagina and breasts now in the male's bathroom because of the Bible says so. But I'm trying to figure out where in the Bible did it say anything about segregated bathrooms based off of genders? Because last time I checked, there was no segregated bathrooms back in biblical times. But people always want to cite this darn Bible for this type of darn record. But meanwhile, you go over to the motherland where you think they would have more common sense. They done became even worse off in the colonization, because now you going as far as trying to kill gays for who they are. We already got the deal in the United States with the vice president becoming a potential president post Donald Trump's impeachment. And he's advocated in the past for electroshock therapy and other torturous methods for LGBTs over here. But here you is actually outright supporting the death sentence. But my thing is this though. Where is this same amount of vitriol and anger and all of this towards the people who is coming into your country and darn gonna barring you out of stores on your own land? Because this is the shit that pisses me off with black people, foreign and domestic. My fellow black people here and the black people here that wants to darn gonna be homophobic and transphobic. You got all this shit for LGBTs, even of your same race, because here's another thing. Y'all would go as far as to misclassify us as a different race of people. And we learned this shit in 3rd grade about miscategorizations, Like when they teach you about what doesn't belong in the group, when you start naming black, white, Asian, Hispanic, LGBT, how do you darn gonna conflate sexuality and gender orientation into a same categorization when you naming off a series of racial groups? I'll wait. And I notice that every time when people talk about issues and they talk about specific racial issues, but then when it comes to LGBT, they act like there's no such thing as LGBTs within the race of the people that they're talking about. They act like there's no such thing as black LGBT people. Because the majority of these people that's going to be subject to the death penalty is damn sure not the white darn gone gays up in the country. And damn sure ain't the Chinese gays. See, this is the shit that pisses me off, because it ain't going to be them running up in the Asian restaurant. Because if they had that much balls to run up into an Asian restaurant just because Jackie Chan liked to wear a dress, honey, they wouldn't be dealing with the bullshit that they dealing with right now with the darn on giving rice. You got Dr. Mumby over here talking about Kenya's receiving fake rice. Now tell me this bullshit right here. You got literally Chinese people flooding Africa because of the toxicity in their own country, with the high influx of cancer in their own country. They coming to y'all in droves. You are the most fertile land in the entire nation, where you can supply 75% of the world food supply within Africa alone. Tell me, why is Africa always trying to receive some darn on food for? This is how darn on warped up they got y'all. Where y'all was happy 2 weeks prior when Dr. Mumby Saraki mentioned that y'all received about $400,000 in rice. And it's the right rice at that. And we just had a whole, lesson about this darn on colonized rice with insecure darn on supremacists. They're so insecure with they darn on selves that they can't even leave the natural rice to what it is, because it ain't no such thing as right rice. So y'all so happy. Y'all talking about what's unnatural, what's being pushed upon you, what's an abomination, but y'all happy to accept this darn on rice that has been bleached, altered, and most of the nutrients have been stripped of it just because of aesthetic reasons, because white supremacy is so scared of anything that's melanin enriched, even from the earth, that they will have you reprogrammed to think foods are naturally of this color. Because when we go to the black rice, it's the healthiest rice. The wild brown rice has 1.5 times, 2 times more protein content and minerals than the white rice, because the white rice is bleach processed and is laced with stuff. Why you think you always have to be cognizant of washing the rice off? It ain't just for the dirt. Why do you think when you make rice water with white rice, it smells like rotten eggs, but you don't notice that same tainted chemical smell when you do the same thing to black rice water or raw rice? Have y'all not noticed that? And y'all seen my darn on raw rice videos where I've actually sniffed it and it smells like tea. I haven't done the black rice, but the people have done black rice and haven't noticed that rotten egg smell. But y'all doing this darn on rice water challenge all over YouTube with rice, and then y'all let it ferment, and y'all noticing this rotten egg smell that y'all put in, and y'all assume that's naturally how the rice is supposed to smell though. Now, natural products don't naturally smell the best, but when it comes to something like a rice, it's supposed to have more like a herbally smell. It don't supposed to have like a toxic chemical smell. But y'all darn gone glad both here with the rice water challenge in America and abroad is darn gone gladly eating the right rice. But y'all don't never talk about that though. Y'all don't talk about them same Asian folks that darn gonna trick y'all with the darn gone rice, where Dr. Mumby Saraki had to later on talk about how y'all was receiving fake rice. Where was the backlash against that? I'm waiting. Where was the backlash when darn on China comes to your country and forces you to teach darn on Mandarin in an African speaking country? I'll wait. Because the theme is we're pushing unnatural lifestyles upon people. Two gay men walking down the street, two lesbians walking down the street is just too much to bear, to the point where you want to stone them to death. People that look like you. Because once again, notice that the white gays and the Asian gays are not going to be subject to this doggone atrocity. Because notice the moment that they try to do it with one of them, it's going to be an act of war over there, and they're going to be cowering down real quick. But you so quick to darn gonna kill your own people because they live a different lifestyle than you, even though they ain't inviting you into the bedroom with your darn gone missionary having darn gone only sex position having ass. Because the Bible teaches you only to do missionary. The Bible teaches you to hold out for your darn gone spouse. Oh, stale coochie, cobwebs and all. Is that why you're really mad? Because the darn gone queen, the lesbians darn gone getting more cooch than you? The gays getting more dick than you? Because that Bible teaches you about darn on adultery, but half of y'all don't follow that no way. Half of y'all ain't darn on suffering from blue balls and darn on cobweb cooches. While y'all want to be darn on selective talking about Leviticus and all this, that, and the motherfucker third, yet adultery is actually one of the 10 most deadliest darn on sins. It's actually stated in the commandments. And y'all don't even follow that motherfucker shit. But I wait for somebody to speak on that though. But meanwhile, I still want to answer to where's the same level of, pushback against the actual stuff that's being pushed upon you, being forced to learn how to speak manually, being forced to deal with not being invited in a Asian restaurant in a darn gone country where 99% of the population is African people, where you go to a beach and still be called a monkey in your own country. Now, if it ain't as worse off, I mean, that's worse off than here. I mean, at least here we can say we make up 15% of the population. But I never understood the West Indies and the darn on Africans when they go through this shit. And you in a country where you represent 90% of the people and you physically outnumber the damn people. You are on the land where it controls 75% of the darn on food resources. But them motherfuckers got you so brainwashed that y'all gladly accepting this darn on bleach altered darn on rice that's being pushed upon you. And when you find out that this bleached rice is actually fake rice, they ain't even giving you the real darn on rice that's been stripped of the minerals. They find y'all motherfuckers so sorry and easy to darn on stomp on. They gave you plastic rice. Where was the pushback against this? I haven't heard of a darn on war that's about to darn on start up with Kenya kicking the darn on Chinese out for this bullshit. But instead, y'all still teaching darn on Mandarin. Y'all subject to darn on Jim Crow on the motherland, where they might let you come into the darn on restaurant during certain hours. They got certain hours that black folk can come into the restaurant to get them something to eat, and they can't really sit with the Chinese folk like that in a darn on country that belongs to you though. But y'all talking about something being pushed upon you. Most of y'all, when y'all darn gonna look up corn in the United States, this is the only corn that y'all motherfuckers see. But we don't see this no more. Now, for anybody who's who's fortunate enough to have an older great grandparent that was alive, or if you have Native American ancestry, most of y'all is familiar with being brought up and learning about the corn that looked like this. I remember even in school, I think I was the last generation where they actually taught the actual colorful darn maize corn in school. But nowadays, you can't even hardly find this no more. The only thing you see is this. Don't get taught about the black rice at all. But we talking about stuff being forced upon you. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get into Illuminati. No, let's get into omens first. And I'm doing this for a reason to tell you about actual colonization that y'all don't push back against. Y'all notice that shit right there, even down to the animals. Y'all can't even leave the animals out of this. Darn on white supremacists is so darn on corrupt that they would even have you retargeted in your brain where doves that are pure white in color is seen as serene, peaceful, beautiful, angelic, but a crow is naturally the sign of death. They promote the right rice, but it's poisoning Chinese people in astronomical numbers to the point where you're fleeing to the motherland. And then they're gonna talking cold cash shit there. And then we got the ones here telling us, oh well, if you don't like it here, take your ass back to Africa. But once again, look what the bullshit we have to deal with if we actually go to Africa. Hell, we'll be worse off in Africa with the racism than here. At least we darn gonna have some darn gonna Second Amendment rights and some darn gonna way to push back. Somebody try to darn gonna attack me because I darn gonna trans. Honey, at least I have the right to darn. It's your Second Amendment. Ooh, at least I get the darn gonna right to put a Glock up in somebody's ass. I darn gonna protect myself over there. They liable to darn gonna send the whole country on me. But where's this same energy though for the darn on Chinese people and the white people who have you darn on subject to darn on paying a dollar? Because let's look at the rates of money for the Congo. Minimum wage of Congo. So 1,680 Congolese francs per day, which translated into American dollars, $1 per day. And you wonder why Congo is seen as among, I think it's like the second or third most poverty stricken nation in the world. But then once again, we have to go to the Congo resources. Congo resources. Because people like to talk about aid and stuff with the Congo receiving $500 million. And this is the bullshit that I have to shut people down with every time. Limitless water from the world's second largest river, the Congo, a benign climate and rich soil make it fertile. Beneath the soil, abundant deposits of copper, gold, diamonds, cobalt, uranium, coltan, and oil are just some of the minerals that should make it one of the world's richest countries. But the people on top of all that who should have access to this. Now tell me, how come this has the most richest sources? And we broke down just the diamonds and the cobalt, along with another metal that is used for the phones in the United States, makes it $24 trillion. Just those three minerals alone. We ain't even getting into the actual the soil. We ain't even getting into the chocolate, the cocoa bean. We ain't even getting into the shea butter. We ain't even getting into all the other economical stuff that makes Congo the most wealthiest darn on country in the entire world. But their people are the fourth poorest people in the world. Now let that make sense. Let that make sense. But meanwhile, y'all want to push darn on the death penalty. But y'all ain't pushing back against this bullshit. Y'all ain't pushing back against this though. I'll wait. And this is why I stay having to darn on do videos like this to push back against the darn on agenda. Because it seems like nobody else is going to talk about it. Because people will lie and say that, we all in this together. But sometimes you just got to know it is what it is. Sometimes you got to realize that some of your own kinfolk is not for you. Some of your kinfolk will kill you worse than white people. Sometimes you don't have to worry about race, and then you wonder why black LGBTs feel like that they're more oppressed because we got to deal with black, and then we got to deal with LGBT. We got to deal with both issues. We got to worry about if I go to Congo, well, not necessarily Congo, but if I go to Uganda, I might be subject to be darn on stoned to death. But y'all talking about welcome home to the motherland, though. It ain't obviously ain't for people like myself. I'll be better off right on here, dealing with the demons that I know right here, operating to combat the demons here. Why the world I'm going to go somewhere where y'all motherfuckers represent 99% of the population and y'all darn gone Sherman. Y'all darn gone Sherman and praise dancing to a white motherfucking Jesus. Because didn't Dr. Mumby Saraki, let's go to her through her videos. Y'all darn gone praising white Jesus and darn gone in the motherland. But y'all talking about LGBTs pushing a lifestyle upon y'all though. But y'all literally got a white man walking around as Jesus. Even though y'all diluted, distorted Bible said that Jesus was copper color. Because once again, this Bible is full of contradictions anyway. But if you're going to at least take the Bible somewhat seriously, you would think you at least darn gone worship the darn gone Jesus that would look closer to looking like Dr. Mumby Saraki versus darn gone Julius Caesar. But y'all, once again, y'all are selective on this darn gone agenda being pushed upon you. Two gay men walking down the street is too much to bear. But you literally being forced to teach a language that is non-African to African people to suffice Chinese people coming to your country to build restaurants where they can darn gone forbid you from coming in. And then if they come to a beach and darn gone call you all types of slurs and you dare not, better not touch them in response. That's not doing that. That's not darn gone pushing nothing on you though. Literally pushing bleached darn gone white rice that's been causing them darn gone cancer. That's not darn gone pushing nothing on you though. But you in a darn gone land where y'all actually have darn gone access to minerals and stuff that's been putting darn gone diseases in remission. Y'all know for legal reasons I can't necessarily say cure because y'all know YouTube is on their bullshit. But y'all know I've been taking black seed oil. I haven't even been taking the Ethiopian black seed oil, but just the Turkish black seed oil has literally rid me of my insomnia. It has reduced my chronic flare-ups. My skin has improved. Well, my skin has always been pretty good, but it keeps little acute breakouts away. The swelling that I used to notice from my Crohn's, not as much anymore. If I get any canker sores, honey, it's gone within 24 hours with black seed oil. But y'all actually have the world's most abundant, darn gone, most powerful black seeds, the Ethiopian black seeds, that has literally been shown to reduce, autoimmune disorders such as, Crohn's disease, people who suffer from lupus, people who have noticed their cancer's gone into remission. People have even claimed that it has reversed their HIV. But y'all allowing people to come up in here and they're going over in the United States, they trying their best to limit all the stuff left and right. I just did a video on that on my main channel about how they trying to darn gone shield all this away from us. But then on the motherland, they trying to already get y'all even worse off by poisoning y'all and making y'all believe that y'all own land is not even fertile. Y'all got we was even brought up in the United States, like they literally pinned us against each other as it is, with darn on making us believe that all of Africa ain't nothing but shithole countries, that we have to send money to feed the children and to give peanut butter to starving Ethiopian people. Yeah, it comes to find out that Ethiopians actually have access to the most powerful seed on earth that can literally darn on rid diseases and shut half the darn on pharmaceutical industry the fuck down. And you wonder why this darn on Ethiopian seed is never mentioned when it comes to doctors. Even when doctors have been sued for using holistic medicine and claiming that it's cured people, even when they actually showed the evidence before judges, and the judge had no choice but to darn gonna let the doctor go, because they tried to sue these doctors for malpractice. And every time the doctor end up winning in a court of law. But you notice they still managed to, that doctor end up dying. We don't hear no more from them. But y'all talking about something being pushed upon y'all though. Y'all never pushed back against this bullshit though. But y'all want to darn on create laws that's gonna punish a majority of your people by death, just simply because two people being who they are. Not that they tried to make out with you, which once again will fall under sexual harassment, which is the same type of punishment for everybody else that is commit sexual harassment. But y'all want to punish darn on happy couples that look like y'all. And you wonder why I can't take Africa seriously with y'all bullshit. But those are my thoughts on that, y'all. Y'all leave y'all thoughts down below. What is y'all thoughts on this atrocity that LGBTs have to face in 2019 for the fact that in the United States we actually have to push for us to be included in the in Title VII, not to be in fear of being fired because of who we are. Then on the motherland, they try to darn on oppose the death penalty for darn on two gay people walking down the street living their best life. But you only want to so much is put a hand on the Chinese person calling you all types of darn on monkeys and swear words on your own soil, pushing darn on fake darn on arsenic laced rice on you, trying their best to limit the darn on production of Ethiopian seeds coming up out of darn on Africa. Because honey, they already done shut down hydrogen peroxide. They done shut down 35% on the two most popular sites in the world where most people frequent, Amazon and eBay. They made it where you can't get it on their Walmart. Ain't going to get it on Walmart either. You have to go directly to the manufacturer to get 35% hydrogen peroxide. They will make it believe that it's a toxic chemical. But anybody that is a C average student, like you don't even have to have a background in science. If you was just a C average student in chemistry, you would know that hydrogen peroxide ain't nothing more than water with an extra oxygen molecule on top of it. Hence why if you leave hydrogen peroxide open too long, the oxygen molecule falls off and goes back into the air, because lightness attracts light and it goes towards the other oxygen. So by default now it's converted back to H2O. Once again, this is basic level darn on science. This is darn on science that you learn in either 8th or 9th grade to darn on later in high school. You don't even have to go to college for basic shit like this. But darn on doctors will literally play up on semantics and make it believe that darn on hydrogen peroxide is terrible. And I mark my words, they're going to try to come after the darn on black seed oil next, because I'm marking it right now. It ain't going to be too much longer before they try to find a way to limit darn on the production of black seed oil. And I want to see what they're going to do when it comes to that. When they notice that their sales of black seed oil goes down in these countries, but they still pushing this darn on arsenic rice on. But once again, and the topic of the day is the LGBTs pushing their lifestyle on you though. Gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender people living their life is just too much to bear for you because of the Bible. In the motherland, where the Bible actually derived from the Kemet. Now that's that shit that I don't understand. Y'all are so brainwashed that y'all are actually taking scriptures from something that was revamped meticulously to darn enslave and brainwash your people, that justifies slavery. But y'all talk about something being pushed upon you though, LGBT, but y'all don't want to push upon this darn on white supremacy. Okay, y'all want to kill y'all fellow people, but you don't want to try to even put a hand up on the people that's subjecting you to this bullshit to make you believe that your own culture is darn on inherently evil. Because notice that all the Illuminati symbols are actually that of ancient African deity. All of that is darn gonna make believe. All the goddesses and stuff that predates Jesus Christ. That actually has a lot more historical evidence. If we were going to conflate mythology into real life situation, there would be more evidence that would suggest that the African deity gods were more real than this Jesus Christ figure. But y'all all of a sudden is worshiping white Jesus. But y'all talking about something being pushed upon you. Y'all don't push upon y'all own symbols being used against you. Y'all don't push upon restaurants and people being able to come to your country and strip your resources, pimp your people out, and dig for diamonds without even giving them shovels. They have to dig with their bare hands and make all these countries rich where they take 75 to 85% of the darn on country's resources. You got y'all banks in debt to European countries. But you're talking about LGBTs though is pushing something upon you. I'm still trying to make sense of this. I'm still trying to make sense of it. But y'all leave y'all thoughts on this below. Like I said, it's a bunch of bullshit in my darn on opinion. If I was an LGBT citizen down there, honey, get your darn on knives sharpened, get your darn on guns locked and loaded, because it's literally a matter of life and death. In regards to any law, honey, I want y'all to make it out of that country alive. If it gets to it, I don't give a hot damn how many you got to shoot at your fellow people. Because if it's gotten to the point where they're willing to kill you, honey, it's kill or be killed. And I'm not promoting no darn on murder or nothing, because but it just is what it is. Self-defense ain't motherfucking murder. You literally darn on trying to pass a law that justify killing somebody. But you ain't in darn on willing to do half of that shit for the people darn on forcing their language and poisonous food upon you. Forcing their darn on religion upon you. Having you think your own darn on religion is your pure skin color is a damn curse. Anything that's black, even down to a motherfucking cat, like these motherfuckers are so trifling, they can't even leave the animals out of this. The darn on crow is demonic, the cat's demonic, your black ass demonic. But Jesus Christ is supposed to be copper color though, with darn on woolly hair. Every darn on holographic that I see is about my skin color and darker. But we darn on the demonic people though. They'll have somebody like this portray an Egyptian woman before they have somebody like me. But once again, the theme is it's the LGBTs pushing the darn on lifestyle and stuff upon y'all, and not the darn on LGBTs. Let it make sense. But I want y'all to try give y'all thoughts upon this down below. We can go all day on this, but I ain't even going to waste not one more second on this low down piece of trash of Uganians perpetuating this darn on division of your own people. Because like I said, once again, let this be known. When they say that they're going to enact this kill the gay bill, kill the gays, they're not going to dare touch them Asians. They're not going to touch the white people. They're not going to touch any Latinos that come into the darn on continent. They're only going to touch their own people. Thus darn on decreasing your own people by default, because they darn on are in a different lifestyle than you. And you can't just agree to disagree. You got to take it out on you. On your fellow people. But you can't even take half that shit. But once again, let me end it right there, because I'm already sounding like a darn on tired, a broken record. Y'all leave y'all thoughts down below. Like or thumbs down. Share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all soon with more videos. Mwah.